Welcome again, guys. And in this video, I am going to learn how to access the S3 with AWS IAM role. As I've already shared a couple of videos on the IAM roles, and you can watch if you haven't watched yet and you don't know what the IAM role is. So let's rephrase a little bit before starting our labs. So IAM policy, we can the an IAM basically stand for Identity and Access Management Policy is an entity in AWS that enables you to manage access to your AWS services and resources into a secure fashion. Policy basically are stored on AWS in only the JSON format. There are no other format than JSON in AWS and are attached to resources as identity based policies. You can also attach an IAM policy to different entities such as an IAM group, users, or roles. IAM policies it give us the power of restricting users or groups to only use the specific services that they need. There are a couple of types of policy available into AWS. So there are two important types of policies: the identity-based and the resource-based policies. So basically, the identity-based policies are policies that you can attach to an AWS identity, such as a users groups or a roles. And this policy control what actions an entity can perform, which resources they can use, and the conditions in which they can use said resources on which they have the permissions. So that's the identity based policies we have. And identity based policies are further also classified. Let's say the AWS, we have the two types of identity based management policies in AWS. That's the AWS managed policy and the custom managed policy. And AWS managed policies are those policies that are created and managed by AWS itself. And you if you haven't watched yet how to create the policies, just go back and watch the policy creation videos I already shared into my channel. And AWS, if you are new to IAM policies, you can start with AWS managed policies before managing your own. It's a good idea to play with. Already there are 100 plus 100 policies available, and you can do a lot of tasks with AWS managed policy itself. And of course, the custom managed policies, the self-explanatories, are policies that are created and managed by you in your AWS accounts. And custom managed policies provide us with more precise control than AWS managed console policies. You can create and edit an IAM policy in the visual editor or by the JSON policy document directly. That's depend how you want to use them. And you can create your own IAM policy using the following link. You can see it's the policy generator URL. You will get a policy generator. You just need to specify, you just need to enter the required information, and it will generate the policy for you. And second one, that's the resource based policy. Resource based policies are the policies that we attach directly to a resources rather than the identity such as users or groups. But it's the resource based policy basically attached to resources in AWS such as the Amazon S3, as and we are going to take a look into this video how to do that. And resource-based policies grant the specified permissions to perform specific actions on a particular resource and define under what conditions these policies apply to them. Resource-based policies are in line with other policies, and there are basically no AWS managed resource-based policy in. And there is only a one type of resource policy, as we called only that's the trust policy, which is attached to an IAM role. An IAM role is both an identity and a resource that supports resource based policy as well. And IAM role, as if you haven't watched the IAM role videos, I have explained it little more detail than here. I'm just rephrase here what the IAM role are. And IAM role is an IAM identity. It's the, let's say it's same exactly, the user identity. So a role is an identity. It's not a resource in AWS that has a specific permissions. So it is similar to an IAM user, which determines what the identity can and cannot do in AWS. So instead of attaching a role to a particular users or group, it's a good idea to attach it to anyone who need it. Okay, so the advantage of having a role is that we do not have standard long-term credentials such as a password or access key associated with it. When resources when resources assume a particular role, it provides us with temporary security credentials for our role sessions, and we can use roles to access users application or services that don't have access to our AWS services, and we can attach one more policies with the roles depending on your requirements. So let's take an example. We can create a role with S3 full access and attach it to an EC2 instance to access S3 bucket. What is S3 buckets? And Amazon S3 is a simple storage service, and you can store and retrieve any amount of data at any time and from anywhere on the web. On the web, it's the web based AP West Web sorry web based services, so you can access any data over the web. A single S3 has designed to store up to 5 TB of data there, but that's not the 5 TB of data for a single object, but not for you can upload unlimited number of data into your S3 buckets. So S3, just keep in mind, S3 is global, but S3 name is you should be S3 is global, and meaning you can create a bucket in any region and access it from anywhere. Due to this, the name of the bucket should be a unique one. However, the S3 objects as well as the bucket cannot be deleted at any time by the user. Can be deleted by any time by the users, and S3 also comes with additional features such as versioning, static hosting, server access, and many more features we have already covered in our previous videos. If you haven't watched, just go through all the videos. So let's just take an architecture how it's work. So we let's say we this is our users and this is our management console, and is this is our AWS architecture, and it's going to uh, connect with our EC2 instance, and then it's have the is S3 full access policies applied here to our instance, and then it's our bucket, and it that's how it's going to work. Okay, so let's just move with our practical, and to start this practical you need to log into your AWS management console. So let me log in. So if to start this lab, first we need to create a role. Let's go to just hit on this services, and it should be under security, identity, and the compliance. Just go to IAM, and it will bring a IAM management console page to us, and you can create the users groups roles from here, and just go to roles, and I'm just going to create a roles, and I'm creating the roles for our EC2 instance, and hit next permission button, and here you can see the policies, and all the policies you can see it here, and I'm just going to search S3 full access. Okay, so just search them and attach them with this EC2 instance roles, and this with these roles, and just go to next, and just key name, let's me tag it here. So EC2 S3 role, so that's I have attached it here, and click on next review, and on the uh, now it's going to give you the, and you need to enter first role name, so I'm just entering S3 full access role. Okay, so that's enough, and you don't need to do anything else, and then just hit create role button. So this role S3 full access role has been created, and it's an S3 policy also attached to this, and you can see just hit that one, and you can see the permission the policy attached to Amazon S3 full access, and you can see that the the JSON version of this policy, the version, then statements, the allow on X3, all the objects, and then resources on all. So that's how you can use them. you can see the your JSON format of this policy. Okay, so for this one, let's move with our EC2 instance as well. I'm just launching one EC2 instance and attaching that role to our EC2 instance. Just one thing you need to keep in mind, that your instance and your S3 bucket must be into same region. It should not be into the different region. So that's your EC2 instance page. I don't have any running instance or any role or any objects has been created into my into this EC2 dashboard, and now I'm going to create a fresh instance. So just hit this launch instance button, then it will launch an instance. And here either you can search them, or you just also remember there are couple of types of AMI available. That's the my AMI marketplace, and the community AMI is also available there. Okay, so let me search one. I can even you don't need to search, just you need to, the first one. I'm just going to select the first one, or if I'm just selecting that free tier only, that's also going to give this free tier AMI. So just select them, and that's the free tier eligible. That's the only one which is the free tier, and that's fine. I'm just going to hit next, configure instance details. And then here AVPC is required when launching an EC2 instance. That's awesome. That's our next level of topics. It's not going to make more sense here right now for you, but let me just create it quickly to our VPC, because I don't have any VPC into my AWS account. I have deleted all of them, even the by default VPC also. So guys, I've created my VPC and the subnet. If you can see it here, I just created it right now, and let me show you. This is my IPv4 address, and it's created into east 1 region. Okay, so that's I have just created. I have also created my subnet. Sorry, that's my VPC, and that's my subnet. I'm sorry. So this is subnet and VPC I have created, that's required to launch any EC2 instance, and it's now I can see it here, and that's my subnet. And then you just need to scroll down here. You need to come to IAM role here, and you just need to select which role you are going to attach them. Okay, so we have created the S3 full access role in just few minutes back. You need to select this S3 full access role here and leave other fields as default. You do not need to touch any of them to create this EC2 instance. That's fine. Then hit next storage, and I'm just going to next add tag, and I'm just going to add tag. Let's say it's I always have this problem, sorry, as 3 EC2, let's say EC2 server, and hit next security conf group. And here, and you what you have to do here in the security group, you need to configure it. So this is by default 000 SSH. It's by default here, so that's fine. I think we don't need to do anything else. That's our it's going to create a new security group. Let's see if we do have any security group here. So you can select them. So it's going to select all the traffics from all of them. Okay, so I'm not going to them. I'm just going to create a new one. That's fine, and I'm just uh, review and launch on them. And your instance configure is not eligible for the free usage tier. To launch an instance that's eligible for a free tier, check your AMI selection instance type. So that's giving me the warning that's not actually the free tier for me, but that's fine. I'm just going with them, and I will delete as soon as possible it. So just hit on this launch button, and here you can see uh, the key pair, and you need to select a new key pair. That's fine. I'm just going a choose, sorry, not existing, just the new key pair. So you need to enter the key pair name here. I'm going EC2 server just test, and that's fine. I'm just going to download them. That's going to download it. So I have downloaded my key pair. Just hit launch instance now, and let's say go to view instance here, and let's wait till it's come up. It's in the pending state, and let's wait to into the running state. And you can is to access this Linux instance. It's now up and running. You can see the public IP address of it. I have installed the Putty, and I'm not going to access this one. And let me show you one thing real quick. I have downloaded my PEM file, and if you just want to see it, that's the .pem file I have downloaded just few seconds back, and just go to here. So what's our first action? First action is you have to change this .pem into .ppk file, and you have to do that by putty gen. You need to open this putty generator converter, putty gen key converter, and here what you have to do, just load your private key file which we have downloaded it, and where is it? Under online course. So that's I have imported my .pem file, and it's saying the successfully imported foreign key. That's you will get this message. That's you just hit OK. That's fine. You uploaded. Thank you. And then you need to click on this save private key, because I'm going to save it. Are you sure? Want to save this key without a passphrase to protect it? What do you say? Yeah, I think yes. I'm fine. I don't mind. Right. So keep your EC2. That's what, and extension would be .ppk. That's good. It's gonna be saved now. That's done, and it should be into my local machine right now. If I can see it, just let me check. Okay, so now you can see it here. That's my file. It's .ec2 server test.pem. It's converted into this key pair ec2.ppk file. Okay, so good. Now let's open our putty. Though I'm not very good into the Linux things, but just little bit. I know very basic thing. If I did some mistakes, just forgive me. So that's our putty, and in the putty you need to enter your public IP address, and I'm just going to put it here 527.240 and 70. That's my public IP address, and then where I need to go to there, yeah, go to here into the SSH, and then into my authentication. Yeah, it should be my authentications here, and what you have to do, you have to private key file for authentication, then you have to browse your .ppk file which we have converted just few seconds back. So let's go to here, and where is my folder, and that file I basically required to this. And what you need to do, just say yeah, open. Just want to open this file. So once you upload the ppk file into your putty, you will get this message. That's fine, and you need to just hit your yes, and then now you in into your putty, and it's asking you login, your login name, and you need to enter your username here. Now you need to switch to your sudo su. Now I'm at the root account right now, and if you just want to see all the S3 and list out list, now you can see all the all S3 buckets inside my account. So let's create a new file. Just type touch, then text, test.txt file. I'm just creating it and it's created. And let's go to AWS S3 mv tst.txt, then S3, and then your bucket name. Just so I have moved this .txt file which we have created into my buckets. You can see it here. It's right now inside the bucket, and let's so that's you can confirm the file uploaded to S3 buckets or not through your AWS console. And if you just want to let's see, you can also check with S3. You have to just come to here, copy your bucket name, and you can see it here. We have tst.txt file also created.